Hi again then guys, and welcome to episode 51 of B-Road Ballers, the review series for Gran Turismo's Hot Hatch selection. And within the Hot Hatch category, which is typically one that's known for being quite shouty, they often have enhanced bodywork, rear wings, air intakes, stickers generally as well, and more often than not quite loud paint jobs. And that fits. It fits perfectly within the hot hatch market. That's exactly what people want from those cars. But occasionally you do get hatchbacks, not necessarily always hot hatches, but sometimes just normal hatches, or what can seem to be normal hatches, which can sometimes actually turn out to be kind of sleeper cars. And this particular pick is one of those vehicles. It's a vehicle which I haven't really talked about at all on the channel before, but if you are a fan of sleeper cars, and of cars which aren't used a huge amount by many people, which you can bring out in a lobby under certain circumstances and shock everyone, then you'll definitely want to check out this car. Now the car is the Mitsubishi Mirage Cyborg, which is one of the coolest names ever, and this car doesn't show off at all. It's the kind of hatchback which I see in England every so often. You don't really care when you see one, it's just a hatchback. It does, however, have surprisingly good specs. Now this isn't a HPA Golf rival in terms of power or some Formula 1 level of lightweight technology. It's just good enough to be great, and it's understated enough to be a sleeper, and that's a pretty great combination to have. Now the fact that it's a Mitsubishi kind of gives you an inkling that it's going to be a pretty good car no matter what. Mitsubishi makes good cars. They may make cars which people aren't particularly excited about, but they're very rarely bad cars. They're either just cars that do the job, or they're really good, like the Evo, the Legnum, the Galant, and various others. Now this particular vehicle you don't hear people talking about. It's easily overshadowed by Mitsubishi's other models, and they do have some very strong ones. The Evos, the GTO, etc. They are very, very strong performance cars. So it's not surprising that something like the Mirage would be kind of overlooked, especially because it's in the lower level of Mitsubishi, and those tend to be the cars that many people will skip over when they click on a dealership. The problem with doing that, well, it's actually a problem and a good thing, is it's a problem for them, because it means that they're potentially missing out on a great deal that's hidden among those other slow cars, but it's good for the rest of us who do like sleeper cars, because it means that it stays a sleeper. No way near as many people realise how good those cars are. So I've hyped the car up a lot, let's hope it lives up to it. So what does it offer? Well, for a start, this car only costs 19 grand. So it's dirt cheap for a hatchback, especially considering that this isn't a K car, it's a decent sized hatch. You get, in terms of engine, a 1.6 turbo, it's front wheel drive, not too surprisingly, and it puts out 378 horsepower from that 1.6 engine, and that's pretty impressive to say the least. It also puts out 234 foot-pounds of torque, and is perhaps lighter than you might think. It looks like maybe a 960, 970 kilo car. It actually weighs 886 kilos with the full weight loss package. So it's a little bit like the Ford Focus RS in that regard. It's a lot lighter than you'd probably expect it to be when tuned. As far as horsepower per tonne, it puts out 427, which is certainly not bad, and the PP is 510. Which, although is quite high for a hatch, I would say is actually perfect for this car, because the performance that it has at that level is really good. Now in a straight line, it's not going to worry a supercar anytime soon, of course not, but that's not the point of most hot hatches. That's not what they're about. Very, very few of them are pure straight line machines. There are some. The HPA Golf is the perfect example. That is a much better straight line machine than it is a cornering machine. It's not bad around corners, it's just far better in a straight line. This car, and most other hatches, is the exact reverse of that. It's not amazing in a straight line, it does the job, but it's in the corners that it really shines. and boy does this car shine. The handling on this car is insane. Specifically, the cornering speeds that you can maintain in this car are absolutely off the chart. You can worry full-on supercars and even some race cars with the handling and cornering speed that this car can achieve. It can get around corners in a ridiculously efficient manner. There's hardly any body roll. It absolutely flies around 90-degree corners and even hairpins with hardly any wheel spin, which is very impressive for a front-wheel drive car with so much power. And although you can spin up those tyres, it does a remarkably good job of keeping itself under control and not letting the power run away with itself. Overall, I guarantee that if you try this car, either fully tuned or even less tuned, you will be shocked by just how good the handling on this thing is. I would put it up there with the Focus RS and the Mini Cooper S. It's incredibly good. Definitely one of the best front drive hatches in the game. The straight line performance isn't necessarily mind-blowing, but it's more than fast enough to mean that overall, as a package, especially for 19 grand, this car is a phenomenal deal and a phenomenal sleeper. You hardly see anyone using them. So if you do pull this car out for, say, 450, 475, or to be honest, even 500 pp racing, I guarantee you will disappoint some people, because you will blow them into the weeds. This car is amazing. Definitely check it out. And that's it for this particular pick. So I'll see you guys next time. And as always, thanks for watching.